The black luxury sedan pulled away from the bakery, and Elena pressed her forehead against the cool glass, already bracing for what was coming. Her father, Boris Pavlovich, took up most of the leather back seat, like a man who was used to owning every room he entered. She knew this wasn't a spontaneous act of fatherly love, this was a strategic ambush. He only picked her up from work when he needed to corner her without escape. He sighed, heavy and theatrical. Elenacha, just look at the world outside. Blooming cherry trees, warm evenings. The perfect time to think about building your own nest. Your lab work is fine, science, prestige, a career, but a woman needs a real family, a respectable husband. Take the Mitnikov boy, for example. Innocenty is a remarkable young man. He's going places. Inside Elena's chest, something snapped, not loudly, but definitely. The same suffocating script repeated until she felt erased. Her parents acted like her opinions, her plans, her life simply didn't register. She turned her head slowly and made a face that could freeze tea. Papa, enough. Not another word. Boris Pavlovich's jaw tightened. He inhaled sharply, visibly swallowing the dictator inside him. He loved her, that was the problem. He turned away, lips pressed white. Elena immediately felt a flicker of guilt, but it vanished as quickly as it came. They rode the rest of the way in a silence thick enough to chew. The house appeared, a two-story cottage with manicured hedges. Elena was out before the car fully stopped, desperate for air. On the porch, her mother Galina was bidding farewell to a neighbor, the wife of a local judge. The two women exchanged a look that Elena knew meant trouble. God, how fast children grow, the neighbor cooed. Your Elena is a sight for sore eyes. Galina Mikhailovna, did you hear? The Fiolatovs just married their daughter off to the prosecutor's son. The moment the gate clicked shut, Galina turned to Elena with a smile that was all silk and steel. Elyusha, how wonderful that your father gave you a ride. We were just talking about grandchildren. When will you make us happy? We're not getting any younger. And the match for you is simply wonderful. Your father and I are thrilled. Mama, please. Not again about your precious Kesha. Elena felt the heat rise to her cheeks. The smile evaporated. Galina's voice dropped from warm to glacial. And what exactly is wrong with Innocenty? Statuesque, fair-eyed, intelligent, head of protocol at City Hall, for your information. A solid salary. From a good family. Any other girl would be jumping for joy, but you turn up your nose. Elena laughed, but there was no joy in it. I can't stand him. Fair-eyed? His eyes are like dead fish, colorless and empty intelligent. He walks around like everything smells bad, and that ridiculous scented handkerchief. He holds to his nose while he whines. Ugh, enough. Her father's voice boomed from behind. No more tantrums. I've already spoken with his father. Innocenty is invited to dinner on Friday. We will discuss the engagement. It's decided. Period. The words hit Elena like a slap. They'd conspired behind her back, her own parents treating her like a bargaining chip. The defiance rose up, hot and unstoppable. Decided? Then hear this, I will not marry your Mitnikov boy even at gunpoint. I will find my own husband. Do you hear me? My own. I'd marry the first laborer off the factory floor before I'd let you sell me off. Her father went pale. A laborer? Have you lost your mind? Go ahead. Find anyone you want. But Friday night, you will be at that dinner. Try to shame me in front of Mitnikov, and you'll regret it. Elena didn't wait for more. She stormed into the house, took the stairs 2 at a time, and began throwing clothes into a suitcase, dresses, jeans, books, everything in a blind fury. Within an hour, she was in a taxi, heading to a friend's apartment in the city, her parents' shouts fading behind her. The next morning at the bakery's production lab, Elena tried to focus. She wore her white coat and hairnet, like armor, arranging flasks of thermophilic lactic bacteria and yeast cultures. But her mind kept replaying the fight. She sighed, grabbed a test tube rack, and headed downstairs to the starter culture room. At the top of the stairs, her foot hit a wet spot. Everything went sideways. The rack tilted. She squeezed her eyes shut, certain she was about to crash, and then strong arms caught her inches from the concrete floor. When she opened her eyes, she was face to face with a young man in a simple blue work uniform. Dark skin, warm brown eyes, and a smile that seemed to take up the whole room. Two bakers rolling an empty dough trough past them burst out laughing. "Look at that!" Alexei caught himself a firebird. The young man, Alexei, grinned but didn't let go. A firebird like this would make any man lucky. Elena's face burned. "Put me down. Now." She tried for authority, but hanging in midair, it came out more flustered than fierce. He gently set her upright. The world spun for a second, and he steadied her with a hand on her elbow. "You okay?" "Fine. Thank you." She grabbed the railing and practically fled down the stairs, clutching the unbroken tubes to her chest. But for the rest of the morning, she kept stealing glances at him. He was repairing a screw conveyor, working with easy confidence, whistling something wordless and carefree. When a wrench slipped and pinched his finger, he just hissed, shook it out, and winked at a passing baker before getting back to work. There was something about his calm, his unforced smile, his utter lack of pretense that drew her eye again and again. By lunch, Elena found herself scanning the cafeteria. Her tray held a salad, a cutlet, and mineral water, but no appetite. Then she spotted him. Alexei sat alone at a corner table, in a clean t-shirt and trousers, working on a bowl of soup. An idea? Reckless, brilliant, and probably stupid, bloomed in her head. Before she could talk herself out of it, she walked straight to his table and set down her tray. "Hi. Do you mind if I sit here?" Alexei looked up, nearly choked on his soup, and quickly dabbed his mouth with a napkin. No, please." She sat across from him, leaning forward with the same stubborn fire that had made her father furious. "Alexei, I have a business proposal. A confidential one. I need a reliable person for a delicate favor. Accompany me to a family dinner, to drive away an arrogant guest who won't take a hint." He set down his spoon. "A delicate favor?" Elena took a breath. "I need a fake fiancé, just for one night. This Friday, you'd come, pretend to be my boyfriend, and make that peacock inocenty, and my father see red. Will you do it?" Alexei blinked. Then, slowly he laughed, a warm, genuine sound. "Elena Borisovna, I think I understand. Parents pushing too hard. My own father tried to force me into a marriage I didn't want. I left home because of it." She stared. "How do you know my name?" "Everyone knows the assistant lab manager," he said with a shrug. "You probably don't remember, but I replaced the temperature sensors on your mixer last fall." "No." He looked genuinely disappointed. Then his eyes lit up. "You know what? I'm in. I'll play the part. Just tell me when and where. I'd marry the first laborer off the factory floor before I'd let you sell me off." By Friday, Elena had rented a small, clean apartment on the edge of town. She'd moved out of her friend's place, and for the first time in years she felt something like freedom, heady and dangerous. Her mother called constantly, voice trembling. "Eliusha, are you eating? Do you have food? Is everything okay?" "Everything's fine, Mama," Elena said. Then, with a smile she couldn't hide, "Tell Papa I'll be at the dinner Friday, but I won't be alone." A pause. "With whom?" "You'll see. Friday night." The cottage gleamed with candles and fine china. Elena walked in on Alexei's arm. He wore a simple gray suit. Nothing expensive, but he carried himself with a quiet dignity that made him look like he belonged anywhere. Innocenti and his father were already seated. Kesha was in full regalia, a three-piece suit, silk tie with a silver clip, hair slicked back. Her mother came in carrying a tureen of soup and froze at the doorway. Elena squeezed Alexei's hand. "Everyone, this is Alexei, my fiancé. He works at the bakery as an equipment technician. Alexei, these are my parents, Boris Pavlovich and Galina Mikhailovna. And this is Innocenti, the one I told you about." Innocenti's nostrils flared as if he'd just smelled something rotting. His hand drifted toward his breast pocket, toward the handkerchief. Elena bit the inside of her cheek to keep from smiling. Her father's face darkened, but he was a man of manners. Unexpected, he said flatly. But since you're here, sit down. We don't keep guests standing in doorways. Alexei presented Galina with a bouquet he'd brought, seated Elena, and then began eating with evident enjoyment. While Innocenti pushed food around his plate, complaining about French cuisine versus provincial tastes, Alexei turned to Elena's mother with genuine warmth. This roasted meat practically melts, Galina Mikhailovna, he said. I've never tasted such a perfect blend of spices. I adore you for this. Her mother blinked, then offered a tentative smile. It's a family recipe. Elena always loved it, Innocenti sniffed. Elena, you really should get used to a certain level of comfort. If you listen to your father's wise advice, you'll soon experience haute cuisine yourself. It's what separates people like us from. He gestured vaguely at Alexei. Elena tensed. But Alexei just dabbed his mouth and said calmly, You're right that practical skills matter, Innocenti. But modern baking is automated lines with complex kinematics, industrial electronics, and logic controllers. There's plenty of room for a smart mind, trust me. Elena's father looked up sharply, reassessing. Innocenti pressed on, undeterred. Still, Elena, you're an intelligent woman. Do you really believe someone of such modest standing can meet your family's expectations? You're deluding yourself if you think a laborer is your equal. That was it. Elena straightened her spine. My choice is my business, Innocenti. I decide who I'm with and how I live. Your hints and other people's calculations don't interest me. Innocenti crumpled his napkin and rose. It's become too stuffy in here, smells of machine oil and cheap trousers. I'm leaving, Boris Pavlovich. Her father saw him out. When he returned, his mood was unreadable. Later, as Elena and Alexei walked through the garden, cherry blossoms drifting down around them, he stopped under an apple tree. I didn't do this just as a joke, he said quietly. You caught my eye back then, Elena. Everything I said and did tonight, it wasn't an act. Not for me. She looked into his dark, serious eyes. The triumphant anger that had carried her through dinner evaporated, replaced by something softer, scarier, and far more real. She stepped closer, touched his cheek, and kissed him. From the second-floor balcony, a silhouette watched, her father, motionless. Weeks passed. Elena and Alexei grew closer. She moved into his apartment. The freedom was intoxicating. Then one Sunday, while she was making a lemon cake, the doorbell rang. She opened it to find a distinguished older man in an expensive coat. Viktor Zakharovich Kalachev, the general director of the bakery. His jaw dropped slightly. Elena Borisovna. From the other room, Alexei appeared. His face went still. Dad, what are you doing here? Elena whipped her head toward Alexei. Dad? Viktor Zakharovich stepped inside. Looking uncomfortable, I came to talk Lyosha seriously. Alexei put an arm around Elena. She's my girlfriend. I have no secrets from her. Come in, let's talk together. Over slices of warm lemon cake and tea, the older man spoke. I was wrong, Lyosha. 2 years ago, when you graduated with honors, I acted like a tyrant. I tried to force you into that stupid rich marriage. I thought I knew better. When you got angry and left, I secretly thought you'd come crawling back. Then you came to work at my factory as a simple repairman, and I waited for you to quit. You never did. You never asked for a ruble. I respect that. Alexei sipped his tea. It wasn't about you, Dad. I had to prove to myself that I'm worth something without your millions. And you did. He reached over and ruffled his son's hair. The workers respect you. The bakers trust you. And the fact that you won Elena, a brilliant, beautiful woman, daughter of one of the most influential men in this city, without her even knowing who your father is. That tells me you're no fool. I had to prove to myself that I'm worth something without your millions. Viktor Zakharovich set down his cup. I need a deputy director, someone with a sharp mind I can trust completely. Come work in management, Lyosha. It's time to take on real responsibility. Alexei looked at Elena. She nodded. Okay, Dad, I'll help you with the business. On one condition, Elena and I live separately. Our home is ours. Agreed. As Viktor Zakharovich finished his cake, Alexei slipped out of the room. He returned and dropped to one knee in front of Elena, opening a small velvet box. Inside, a delicate ring caught the light. Elena, I love you. Will you marry me? Tears spilled down her cheeks. Yes. Yes, Alexei, of course. He slid the ring onto her finger. Viktor Zakharovich, pretending to search for a handkerchief, wiped his eyes. Elena was walking through the bakery's administrative corridor with morning reports. She spotted her father's broad figure ahead, and beside him, Innocenty, puffing out his chest. I'll arrange everything, Boris Pavlovich. They'll deliver on a silver platter. I'll emphasize it's for the city's prestige. Then Alexei appeared from the opposite direction, carrying a toolbox. Innocenty, gesturing broadly, bumped into him. The box clattered to the floor, wrenches and screwdrivers scattered everywhere. "Watch where you're going, idiot!" Innocenty snapped. "Stand up when management is talking to you. It's people like you who ruin this country's production. Pick up your junk and disappear before I have you fired." Elena started forward, furious. But Alexei just straightened up slowly and smiled. "Save your voice, Innocenty. People might think the fire alarm went off. Wouldn't want to stop production. No bread tomorrow." Innocenty's mouth opened and closed. Boris Pavlovich stared in disbelief. Then the director's office door opened. Viktor Zakharovich stepped out. "What's all the noise? Lyosha, leave your tools and come inside. You're handling the negotiations with our city guests." He turned to Boris Pavlovich. "Please, come in. And by the way, meet my son Alexei. Officially, he is my deputy director for production modernization." Elena had to cover her mouth to keep from laughing. Innocenty's face went slack. He fumbled for his handkerchief. Boris Pavlovich went crimson, then shoved his aide toward the stairs. "You're dismissed, Innocenty." "Wait in the car." As the chastened assistant slunk away, Boris Pavlovich extended his hand to Alexei, man to man. Alexei shook it firmly. Later, Elena learned that her father and future father-in-law had not only signed a bread supply contract but also discussed wedding plans. The reception hall buzzed with laughter and music. Elena sat beside Alexei, her hand in his halfway through the evening. Boris Pavlovich, rose glass raised high. "Dear friends," he said, his voice thick with unexpected emotion. "I want to toast the wonderful, stubborn defiance of my daughter and the choice she made. Life has shown that children are sometimes wiser than their parents." To the young couple, glasses clinked. Galina leaned toward her friends and whispered, "When my girl packed that suitcase, my heart stopped. I thought she'd be lost. And look how it turned out. Thank God Lyosha has such a good head on his shoulders." Elena heard her and elbowed Alexei gently. He just smiled. And that is the story of how Elena traded a gilded cage for a real life and found a love her parents never could have arranged. If you enjoyed this tale, hit like and subscribe to my channel. New stories every day.